Hello and welcome to my channel, which is all about Indian folk art. Today we are going to make Warli painting on canvas. In case you need to see the material in detail, you can also check the description box below. Now we begin with this canvas. So this is a 20 by 20 centimeter square canvas that I'm using today for this painting. I'm also using acrylic paint. So this is the blue acrylic paint which I'm going to use for the background, and we also need white acrylic paint for the design. So first of all, I'll take the acrylic paint in my palette and I'm going to add water to it to prepare the perfect consistency that is needed to cover the background. Now, as you see, I'll add water very slowly here, not too much at once, and try to mix it really well to get that perfect consistency. So you have to make sure that you mix it really well so that all the granules that are there in the paint get mixed with the water and a nice and perfect solution is prepared so that we can apply that on the canvas. Now, as you see here, a little bit more water was needed, so added a little bit more. So always add the water in drops and mix it well. So you also need to know that acrylic paint dries very quickly. So you have to be a little bit quicker in, quickly covering the background, or in between you need to keep adding water so that it doesn't dry, in your palette. So as you see here, the first coat is going to be done on the canvas, and as you may notice that the first coat is not so perfect. You can see a lot of strokes there, but you don't need to worry. First of all, just try to cover the entire canvas with the paint and let it dry. And trust me, we will see how to cover these untidy looking strokes. Now, as you see here, my canvas is covered with first coat of paint, and it is completely dry. Now, as you see, it's not looking perfect, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it with another coat of paint. So I kept a little bit extra paint so that I can cover it with another coat. If you are a beginner with the acrylic and you may notice that there are still some strokes with the second coat, it may be because you added too much water to your paint. But you can always do it, let it dry and do it with third coat. You will definitely get the perfect canvas that you need. So this is our perfect canvas, and I just wanted to start with the borders. So as you see here, I have left a little bit more than a centimeter on all four sides. So what I did was I took a white pencil and just marked a little bit straight lines so that you don't mess it up when you're doing it. So this way I just I'm applying the white acrylic paint first of all on these lines to mark the borders, and then I'm going to start with the design that I'm going to do for the borders. Now, as you see here, today's border is super simple, and I am going to just make leaves on both sides. So you have to make such leaves, and these leaves are supposed to be parallel to each other, kind of hanging to a branch, a thin branch. So this is how we are going to do it. So you don't have to worry if it's not that perfect. Now, if you are not sure to directly do it with the brush, what you can do is just try to draw these tiny leaves with the white color pencil and then apply the paint on it. Now for the paint, what I've done is I have used a really thin brush. You can use a size 0 or 00 if you're not comfortable with 0. And this is how we go ahead with the border. Now I'll show you exactly how to do the corner, which is very important part of any border design. So this is how we try to do the border. So here just trying to merge it with each other. So as you see, the design doesn't have to be perfect. As I said, this is all folk art, and the more imperfections are there, it shows that you have done it freehand. It shows that you have made it in really the authentic way. So don't worry about being very perfect. In the end, it's going to look really nice and raw, which is actually the essence of any folk art. So here we go. We just try to do again the leaf design on all four sides. So as you see, when we change the border, so the direction also changes of the leaves, so that you have to be careful while you are making this border. So this is a very simple border design which you can use for any Warli painting that you're doing, and it looks really beautiful once you cover it entirely on all four sides. So let us quickly finish the border design on all four sides, and now my border is completely dry and I'm going to begin with sketching of the design. Now, as I said, if you're not confident, you always try to sketch the design with a white pencil so that you know you have exactly the mark where you're going to do. Or you can, if you're confident enough, you can just do it freehand without drawing it. Because Warli is, mostly it has triangles and the pattern is a little bit easier to make. So you can do freehand. That would be really nice. So we just try to first sketch. As you saw on the top, we just did a circle, which is going to be the sun. And here, as you see, I'm just trying to create an animal figure. So basically it's a bull, and we are just trying to make a scene of a bullock cart. So basically the bull is pulling the cart and there is a person sitting in the cart with a loads of, grains or whatever. There are sacks on it. So that is what basically we are trying to paint today. And exactly when I made this painting for my own home and when I hung it on the wall, I thought it is such a nice theme and such a beautiful painting. Why not make a tutorial for all of you guys so that you can also decorate your home with this beautiful painting. And it is, as you see, very simple to make. So everyone can do it with simple steps. So here we continue making that, and as you see, I'm just trying to sketch it first so that I don't make any mistakes. Ideally this shouldn't be the way to do, but it is easier way and it is perfect for the beginners who are trying to learn this art form. And here I'm now trying to draw the cart and the wheel. So you have to be very careful here to not mess up the circle. So if you're not confident here, also you can use maybe a bangle or a small, circular things to make the circle here. So here, as you know that in Warli painting, the figures that are made, the human forms or whatever figures mostly are made out of these triangles. So that is what I'm trying to create. So this is a person sitting on the cart and he is trying to control the bull with one hand and the other hand as well. So this is basically the painting that we are going to create. So once my sketch is ready, I'm just trying to join it here. I will be using the white paint again to fill in the colors. Fill in the figures, which you'll see just some sacks I made here on the cart. And here just trying to make the break that it has, just trying to give it a complete figure. And here in the end, we will just try to create some birds to just give a composition to a painting. So whenever you sketch any kind of painting, it has to be a complete composition. So everything has to be there. There has to be a balance. So here, as you see, we are just trying to create some birds, and we are going to use simple figures which you may have used when you were kids. And this is basically a very tribal way to exactly show the birds, and a very nice and unique way. So this is a very nice art form. This is actually a tribal art form from the western part of India, but it is one of the most famous art forms, and a lot of people try to make it and are very big fans, just like me, of Warli painting. And here we go. So as you see here, we just try to fill in the white paint. So till now, my white paint was in my palette. So I just tried to keep, it so that it doesn't get dry. As I said earlier also, acrylic paint dries very quickly. So I just added a few extra drops of water so that it doesn't dry. And it is perfect now. It is not yet dried. And I can use it so that you don't waste the paint. So these are few tips that I keep giving you guys so that you don't waste your paint. And here just trying to make the hands, and this is kind of a rope kind of thing which is attached to the bull. So tiny details. Actually, you think that this is very easy to make, but once you start painting it, it is quite difficult. And if you use especially a paintbrush, maybe with a pen, but pen is too perfect, and folk art, I don't like it when it's too perfect. It has to have that raw flavor, and we already are using, things that are not really used exactly, like acrylic paint or stuff like that. So at least we can do is that respect that thing and try to make it as raw as possible. So that is exactly my idea behind any folk art that I try to create. So here you go. As we see here, we're just trying to create that wheel of the cart and trying to join it with the spikes that is it has inside, and just gave it kind of a shape of spikes. So I just initially, as you saw, I just created lines, but here I'm just trying to create kind of a rhombus kind of a structure to give it the shape. And here for the cart, I'll just use simple checks to cover it completely, as you see here. So this is what we are going to do. So I just show you a little bit so that you understand how to do it, but we are going to complete it later, of course. And here, just trying to darken the outline. Just, a little bit thicker so that the outline, really is highlighted. And here, painting the tiny detail here in the end. And then moving on and doing the bull, which is another very important figure here. So as you see, we go very slowly near the mouth and cover the entire face with the paint. We just left a little gap in between, so that it shows the two jaws are meeting at the center, but there is a gap created in between just to give, a nice look to that. Here we have the ears, and on the other side as well. So here again, as you see, the body is also, the use of triangular patterns for the animal bodies. So you can, this is, you can keep a journal, as I also do. I always draw the animals or figures so that it's easier for, for future reference. So you can also maintain that if you want. And this is how we go ahead. So as I said earlier, also, this is not the traditional paint that we use. Traditionally, it's done on, reddish brown paint as a background. But this blue and white combination really looks nice. And that is why I just changed it and made it this way to make it more beautiful and give it a different look. Basically, it also looks beautiful on the red background. If you want, you can do it that way, but I just wanted to give a different look, and that is why I use this blue paint. So here again, adding the details, just going slowly wherever the lines are, just going patiently everywhere, because we don't want to mess up. And just now, as you see, once the art starts completing, it is creating that look, and it looks really, really beautiful. So such a simple form of art, but it has so much to give, so much to tell. So that is the best part of all the kind of folk art that we see around us. And that is how, it really fascinates me how they used to convey so much through these minimal patterns, minimal, kind of motifs that they used, and they used to convey so much through it. So that really, really fascinates me, and I really love all kinds of different folk art forms that we have in India. And in India, we have a lot different types of folk arts. So that is what really fascinates me. So this is kind of a sack, and I just gave it some patterns, some look. You can use different patterns here as well, just to give it a look. And last but not the least, the sun is not complete without the rays. So we will just add on all four sides, and then in between, tiny lines. So this will help us to create the pattern. And on these lines, I'm just trying to create these tiny dots and giving a new look to the sun, a completely new design. So here you go. This is, and in between, just a little dotted lines to make it. So this is all what we have for today. This is what I wanted to make today. This is a very simple painting. easy for the beginners and perfect to decorate your room. And this is what we learned today. I hope you like this tutorial. This is exactly how our painting looks. Thank you so much for watching, and we will meet again very soon. Till then, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye.